First of all, what a beautiful day in Albuquerque. On my way to work this morning, the balloons were in the air, and it just reminded me that we are the ballooning capital of the world, and how thankful we are that we have so many iconic figures and legends, if you will, in our community centered on ballooning that have brought us to this point. Today is a day that we enter into a window of opportunity to really extend our legacy through two men who will be taking on some really wonderful adventures here coming up. We know that we're going to talk about an update on the actual balloon flight today, but between Troy Bradley and Leonid Tuktiev, we have two individuals that are continue to inspire our imagination and continue to put Albuquerque at the absolute center of ballooning internationally. On any given day, as I said, you will see balloons in the air in the city of Albuquerque. And on any given day, Troy Bradley may be in one of those balloons in his role with Rainbow Riders. But what a lot of people may not know is that Troy is also well known around the world for his adventurous spirit and his record-breaking ballooning accomplishments. When he teamed up with Leonid Tuktiev from Moscow, who's also an internationally renowned balloonist, they decided to embark on what may become an historic record-breaking flight. During the Trans-Pacific flight that could take place anytime between now and the end of February, Troy and Leonid will attempt to break two long-standing gas ballooning records, one for flight distance and the other one for duration in the air. In keeping with the character of Albuquerque as an international city, this truly is an international quest, and we're proud of both of these gentlemen, and we're proud that they would bring their command center to Albuquerque. Two people from opposite sides of the globe have shared a dream and are putting their knowledge and resources on the line to realize that dream, and we wish them both a safe and successful trip when they make the decision to fly. We also want to thank Troy for the idea of creating this mission control that I'm standing in front of today for Two Eagles Flight right here at the Balloon Museum in Albuquerque. It's quite an honor for our city, it's quite an honor for our museum, and never before has our Balloon Museum been used as a command center. And you can see it behind me, and I know we'll have tours for you. I believe that through his request, Troy's made a decision to underscore the value of this museum and to honor the stories that the museum holds. Stories about other courageous flights throughout history and the people from Albuquerque who made them possible. As a matter of fact, right now we're just steps away from the original restored Double Eagle 5 gondola, which is the centerpiece of our museum collection. The ground control operations for the 1981 Double Eagle 5 flight, which was the first manned Trans-Pacific balloon flight, was centered in Albuquerque as well. Albuquerque is often the epicenter of great achievements in ballooning. And many of ballooning's greatest figures, people who have achieved great firsts, have called Albuquerque home. People like Ben Abruzzo, Maxie Anderson, Larry Newman, Richard Abruzzo, my good friend, Carol Reimer Davis, and of course, our good friend Troy Bradley. These ballooning greats turned their dreams into reality, and with the presence of the first annual Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, they started making Albuquerque the balloon capital of the world. But that's not where Albuquerque's influence ends. The Two Eagles capsule was custom built by Composite Tooling, a local company, using state-of-the-art technology and materials. And many members of the mission control team are current and former Albuquerque residents who have world-class experience with supporting long-distance gas balloon flights, including the Balloon Fiesta's America's Challenge gas balloon race and previous attempts to fly around the world. We could not have created this mission control center without Troy's help, so we want to thank Troy for his leadership and for his vision there. Of course, many people locally to thank. Betty Rivera, my Director of Cultural Services. Wave, Betty, thank you so much for what you're doing. Sandy Cohen, who I'm going to introduce in just a moment, is our museum director. Dave Matthews from our Cultural Services Department. Dave's here. He will be doing the media resources management on this. And to Dr. Steve Shope, who's with me here. Thank you for bringing your command team to Albuquerque for this historic event. Now, I'd also like to say that during the Two Eagles flight, admission to the Balloon Museum will be free. So once again, we have a period of time. You know, Steve's going to give you an update on what's happening with the ballooning. But while the balloon is in the air, whenever that is, whether it's today, tomorrow, the next day, anytime between now and February 20th, when the balloon's in the air, Albuquerqueans can come to this museum for free. Normally the museum's open not 7 days a week, but during the flight we will have it open 7 days a week. So we want to let everybody in Albuquerque know, bring your students, bring your families, bring your kids down here, show them what this command center looks like once the balloon actually gets airborne. We're doing this because the city of Albuquerque and our residents have made significant investments, and we want our citizens to be a part of this great adventure. So if you do come, we hope you'll be able to see Dr. Shope's team in action as they track the Two Eagles balloon across the ocean and help them lead this pair to a safe and successful flight and landing. So we are very excited today. We want to get an update, but before we do that, I'm going to have Sandy Cohen, who's right here with me, give a little bit of an update on what's happening at the museum, and then we'll have Dr. Shope tell you exactly what's happening with the flight, where we are today. Thank you for coming. Thanks for your interest. Let's keep Troy and Leonid in our thoughts and in our prayers as they fly. Let's keep cheering as a city. Let's make sure that Albuquerque continues to be the center of ballooning excellence around the world, and this is a great way to show our support. So thank you for being here today. Sandy?
Thank you, Mayor Barry, and good morning, everyone. Well, this is just about the most exciting thing for us here at the Balloon Museum, maybe ever. As a historian, this is my big chance to actually be a part of history. The museum, as I'm sure you know by now, is going to serve as mission control for this historic balloon flight by Troy Bradley and Leonid Kotiev. Troy, who is president of the Museum Foundation, graciously approached us with this wonderful opportunity to have our museum serve as mission control. And really, if you think about it, what better place to be part of a history-making balloon flight than at a museum that deals with the history and science and art and culture and sport of ballooning. And also for it to take place here in Albuquerque, the city of ballooning. Our setup really is a fully equipped, active, and participatory mission control center with scientists, physicians, engineers, weather traffickers, air traffic controllers, technology and communication specialists, all here to ensure that everything goes according to plan. And most importantly, as the mayor mentioned, we'll be in constant contact with Troy and Leonid 24 hours a day to monitor their safety and provide them with whatever they may need. This is not only an exhibit, but a living exhibit, as visitors will be able to view the activities in mission control as they happen. And they may do so on the house, as the mayor mentioned, as the museum will be offering free admission between now and the completion of the flights, including on Mondays when we are ordinarily closed. I also want to emphasize that this is only the beginning of a year full of amazing activities for the Balloon Museum that will be taking place here. We'll have other major exhibitions. We'll have the implementation of an interactive weather center, all taking place by this year's fiesta. Most importantly, though, I want to thank all of my colleagues in the city of Albuquerque, not only at the Department of Cultural Services, but in many, many other departments as well. I especially want to acknowledge the Two Eagles capsule model, which is part of the Mission Control exhibit, and which was created by Eric Pfeiffer and Greg Marlowe at the Biopark. And when you see the model, I think you'll be amazed to learn that all Eric and Greg had to go by were a bunch of photographs in which they estimated measurements. But they really nailed it. It's incredible, and this exhibit will remain up even after the flight, so the visitors can still come and learn about what happened. Like the flight crew and the mission control crew, we're a unified team here at the city of Albuquerque, and I'm extremely proud of what we've been able to accomplish here as soon as we got word that this once-in-a-lifetime event was going to occur. So thank you very much for being here and for supporting us, And I would like to now introduce Dr. Steve Shope, Mission Control Director.
Thank you. I'm from Mesa, Arizona. However, I used to be a longtime resident of Albuquerque, and I've been involved in many of these missions in the past. And I would like to thank the mayor and the city of Albuquerque for the tremendous support they've been giving us. The staff has been just unprecedented in the cooperation, and so I am very, very impressed that they have constructed this facility for us and have been so cooperative. This is unprecedented in my experience. A couple things to talk about. The balloon itself is probably one of the most heavily instrumented balloons ever built. You know, we have multiple tracking systems, so we have a lot of satellite communications gear. We can get tracking once a minute, so we're going to be in constant contact with them. We have voice, we have data communications with them. So we're very confident that we have a very, very secure and safe operation in the capsule itself. The other thing I'd like to mention is, in addition to setting a world record, we're doing some important scientific research on this mission. So we're looking at scientists from Arizona State University and the Cognitive Engineering Research Institute are looking at cognitive readiness. We're looking at, you know, what's the effect of fatigue on your cognitive skills level. And this is very important. You know, it's very rare that we get a mission where they could be up isolated for 10 or 11 days alone in a capsule. So the military is very interested in this, and this will result in some peer-reviewed journal articles. An update on the mission. Right now, we had fully expected to launch this morning. Everything looked very good. Even last night, I talked to Troy, and he was confident that things would be good for a launch today. I talked to him this morning, and the weather is just starting to degrade. The trip to Hawaii from Japan is absolutely perfect. It's slow, but once we hit Hawaii, things start to go bad. The mission also then takes a left turn up to the northwest part of the United States. And unfortunately, that, even though it looks like it's long distance, that's not, it's better to stay south. You get more miles per degree of longitude that way. So in light of the recent changes in the weather, we put the mission on hold. The balloon's going to continue to be laid out. In about 8 hours, we'll now have another briefing and let everybody know what the status is. But we're very early in the launch window, and you know, verbatim from what Troy said this morning, why risk it? You know, we have issues of weather in the Northwest, and we have issues of maybe not setting the goal of the distance we want. And at the same time, it's going to be a very slow flight, and we'd be over water for 10 days or so, and that's just a little uncomfortable. So from a conservative standpoint, let's just wait and see if the weather picks up better. Been in many of these missions, and this is just the nature of ballooning. So safety is paramount, and the record is second, but safety is number one. So I really respect Troy's decision, and I fully agree with him. So we'll be on standby for 8 hours, and we'll have another announcement. But the balloon will continue to be laid out, and we'll be able to update you in approximately 8 hours.
Okay.
So, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shope. Thank you.
Let's go ahead, and if you have questions, I know Dr. Shope has a lot of things he can talk about as well. So let's just ask if anybody has any specific questions. Come on back up.
Two questions. First one is, how long does it actually take to inflate a 350,000 cubic foot gas balloon? And the second question is, why do you prefer that the flight bend to the south as opposed to the north?
The record has to do, I'll answer your second question first. The record has to do with what's called great circle distance. So that's the distance from the launch point to the landing point.
Right.
And the Earth is skinnier as you go up further north. So you don't get as many miles. So if we go from Japan to, let's say, Cabo San Lucas, we get 11,000 kilometers. We fly up to Seattle, we get about 6,000, or maybe 7,000. So we want to stay in the southern latitudes as much as possible to be able to get the distance record.
First question was, how long does it take to get the balloon?
It probably takes about 4 hours to get the balloon inflated. The ballast has to be loaded on. We did calculations yesterday, and the gross weight of the whole system is 15,777 pounds. And we have approximately 11,000 pounds of sand ballast on board. So it's a slow process, but it has to be done very carefully, offsetting the lift of the gas versus putting the ballast on the gondola.
At what point would you say that this window that you have becomes a critical factor where you're running out of time to launch the balloon? At what point would you say we've got it pulled off?
We're willing to launch through February.
through February?
Right.
So-
And the plan is, if the conditions do not prevail this year, we will wait till next year and do it again. Okay, we, you know, there's a lot of pressure sometimes, but again, you can't let pressure jeopardize safety.
Anyone else?
Mayor Barry, this is for you.
Sure.
How do you think, because this is such a huge, potentially historic event for the city of Albuquerque, how could we, as a city, I guess, for lack of a better term, capitalize on this particular huge historic event?
Well, you know, first of all, we'll be blowing up social media. We need our earned media locally to get the buzz out there, make sure that our community, number one, is excited. And that's why I said earlier, we're asking our community to do several things. Say your prayers, cheer loud, come down to the Balloon Museum, get the next generation of enthusiasts excited, bring your kids down, show them this command center, talk to them about the significance of what Troy is doing and what LeanNet is doing, and just tell them that this is a big deal. And so, and then of course with social media, and we hope we have some national and international attention, which we will. Just brings our city to light in the best possible way. And let's never forget, this is an adventure for a reason. This can be dangerous. You know, my good friend Richard Abruzzo lost his life ballooning, and Carol Reimer Davis and others that went before. So we want to make sure, as Dr. Shope said, that these balloonists are making good decisions, that they feel like, which they do, that they'll make their own decisions when the time is right for them to be safe and to be successful. So there's two sides of that equation. But for the most part, I think we just need to do what any community should do, and that is cheer on our hometown hero and pray for his safety and just keep our fingers crossed and all those things that you can do.
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
We do have a pretty strong media presence in the command center, so we're doing Twitter, we're doing Facebook, we're doing websites, we have a tracking page. And we have live streaming video from the launch site, and I looked this morning, there's 165,000 views of that already. The other thing, the city of Mesa is going to do a press release too about the research that's being done and the fact that I'm involved in this project too. So the word is getting out, and just my Facebook page alone, I've had a lot of interest in it and hits and so forth. So I think we'll have a really good message to send the world from the city of Albuquerque.
So thanks for coming. We'll keep you updated from the command center. Dr. Shope, is there some kind of an expectation we can set? Like, how long in advance will we know if the balloon's going to actually launch? Do you know? 4 hours, I guess, at least.
We'll probably, I'd say,
Once the go decision is made.
probably 4 to 8 hours.
Yeah. So once the go decision's made, we'll get on. You know, the command center will put out the notice, and we'll either reconvene here or we'll just get everybody together and start cheering. So thanks for coming today, and to Troy and LeanNet, Godspeed. Thanks.
Thank you.